turn on over there? Sounds vaguely like the 60s.
We are on. Might have pipes this soon, I suppose.
Is that? You didn't
That's,
study
that's
that?
for the executive session.
On right now?
We're on.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's, that's the wrong one. It's 10:30. It's 9 o'clock. And I'd like to call the Sewage and Water Board meeting of July 19, 2023, directors to order. Please, special counsel, if you would, call the roll.
Mayor Cantrell. Councilmember King.
Here.
Director Barnes.
Here.
Director Duplessis. Director Markowitz. Director Guzman. Here. Director Pacho. Director Sloss.
Here?
Director Howard.
Here.
Director Scholas.
Here.
All right.
President Pro Tem, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. I would like a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the June 2021, June 21, 2023, sorry. So it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? Any opposed? No. The motion carries, which brings us now to the Executive Director's report. Hassan Corbin, if you would please proceed with your report.
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, Mr. President Pro Tem. I believe this is the first opportunity we have to congratulate you on your new assignment, your new post, so congratulations.
I hope I can handle it.
I'm
Thank
sure,
you.
I'm sure you can. So looking forward to working with you with your new post. I have quite a few things to update you on this morning, so thank you for the opportunity. We'll dive right into it. Talk a little bit about pumping and power, obviously with the hurricane season ahead of us. We stand at 93 of 99 drainage pumps that are available, and we continue to obviously work on the remaining ones and hopefully bring some back during the hurricane season. We're standing in a good place in terms of power. We have been managing fairly well without the Turbine 4 being operational, but it's coming back imminently. Within a few days, we're working on a few final touches. Ron and his team have been diligently working on that for the last couple months, and like I said, it will be back and will bring about 18 plus megawatts of capacity. So although we've managed without it, it will bring not only capacity, but also redundancy. So it will put us in a very, very good place in terms of if something else breaks down or if we need more power, it would be there for us. So again, looking very, very positive and very good. And we have the EMDs and the static frequency changers that we always can rely on in case of emergencies. So good place to be in terms of pumping and power. The power complex project continues to move in a steady and good pace. The substation itself is really shaping up very nicely. I'm really, really anxious to get you out there and show you the site and the improvements.
Maybe in the fall.
Maybe in the fall when the sun goes down. As you know, we've made serious adjustments to the flow of the project and the sequencing relative to the design, adjusting to the not receiving all the money that we were expecting from the capital outlay. So we've made adjustments and we are in a good place as well. So the $15 million that is coming from the state, paired with $10 million from the fair share money, will allow us to put 2 frequency changers in place, which is really what we need on any day during an event. The third one is pure redundancy, just in case one of them breaks down. Yes, sir.
The IAB was helpful in this endeavor, isn't that correct?
Extremely, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we're enjoying the benefit of a steady income or revenue from that source, from the fair share, about 20 plus million a year. And then we've created a surplus in there, knowing that we will have needs here and there. And so basically what we're doing this year, we had $5 million extra that came through that fund. So we're gonna earmark that for the power complex, and in the city, anticipating that they owe us $5 million next year. They're gonna advance the $5 million, basically lending us the money, and then they don't have to give us the money next year. So it's a win-win, And obviously, we're very thankful, the IAB folks, city council, who obviously through the budget process will support that. And obviously, the administration, the mayor and the CEO have agreed with that arrangement. So a lot of good partners
A lot of
helping us.
concurrence, that's great.
Yes, so,
Good sound. I also want to just really give a shout out to our legislative delegation, specifically Senator Harris and Senator Duplessis. They were really, really helpful at helping us sort of make some things work and explaining it to their colleagues in a way that was received well and resulted in us actually continuing to get the cash flow we needed to do what we needed to do. So this really speaks to how important it is for us at the local level to work with those at the state level to make sure that everybody's pushing the cart the same direction.
it's spot on and well put, and could have been a lot worse. And certainly, they came to our aid and managed, the 15 million, and we're very, very thankful. And obviously, we're gonna continue our work with them, and we're gonna do things a little bit different in terms of communicating more often and early. So make sure that everybody understands our needs on the front end.
Great.
So that puts the schedule on track, and we will deliver the project during the 2025 hurricane season. We've said that for a couple of years, and we remain committed to that. So very, very exciting place to be for the city. So in terms of the smart metering update, moving at a very steady and intentional pace, making adjustments as we go. We're on track. I love saying that word when it comes to major project like that. Proactively, we're putting meters in the ground that are smart meter ready. So that means when we're ready to install the device that would, the wireless device that would actually transmit the data, it will be an easy retrofit, just connecting that meter to that device, and then you got a smart meter in place. So we're steadily moving in the installation phase, driven primarily by a supply chain situation where more 1.5 or 2-inch large meters are available versus the 5/8, which are predominantly what you have in the city for residential. So we're moving forward with that based on that. No harm, no foul, obviously, because those meters have to be installed anyway. So we're moving forward with that. The interesting part is that 60% of that population of that 1.5 or 2-inch are residential. So it's not where we're doing just strictly commercial and ignoring the residential. So moving, again, in the right direction. The other sizes, again, the larger population will start in the last quarter of this year. So it's literally around the corner where you're going to start seeing routes being implemented and ready to be enjoyed with all the features that the smart meter brings. To the right is a sample postcard that will be sent shortly before the actual installation, explaining this is one of many communications or touch points that we're going to have with our customers in terms of what to expect, and allow opportunities for questions and anything like that. So very, very exciting place to be, and literally around the corner. So
Which will eliminate one of the biggest friction points.
yes,
in the
absolutely.
housing community. I hate to ask this question, why does it nearly eliminate estimated bills instead of fully?
Because there will always be that one meter that may be either that has some flaws or some malfunction. There's always
So that would only
That
be in
one.
the case of an error.
there will be
You would
there will
expect
be
that.
yeah. So this is not 100%, but you're moving from where we are now to almost nearly 100%.
Properly functioning meter would
Well,
never definitely.
as you know, it pains physicians and and engineers that say 100% ever. 'Cause biological systems and engineering systems are never 1 or 100 or 0. So I think we're going to approach 100,
Yes.
but the engineer in him won't let him say
Been
100.
real close.
We're taught that so well for 4 to 6 years in college. So never say 100%. Thank you for that perspective. In terms of the intermediate steps that we've taken, splitting the population of the meters 50-50, that's progressing, allowing us to obviously touch a lot more meters, significantly more meters on a regular basis. Now we're kind of shifting our focus a little bit from the quantity to quality, making sure that all the reads are to our satisfaction. We're working very hard on that. Next week, we will be starting with the door tags, and this is a sample, what our customers will start seeing as an evidence that we were there. And then there will be an indication whether we actually read the meter or we had difficulty or lack of access to the meter. So it's a good way to communicate with our customers. Obviously, we're going into it in good faith that hopefully will not add a significant amount of time, but we're going to document that,
Yeah, good.
and we'll report back relative to what that means. But our goal and our directive that we want to make this work, and we're hopeful that it will somehow work. The efficiency will work itself in, and we will not face any significant obstacles with it. So. Last month, I shared with you, it was hot off the press, the annual report. It was mailed to all of our customers, and it really creates so much feedback from people. I get the most feedback relative to this product than anything else we do, which is interesting. People find it very thorough and very helpful. So if you haven't read it, I urge you to look through it. It's a lot of valuable information. Interesting, we were asked to have more information about other things. This is a drinking water driven report, but we've added more and more to it, and we're cognizant about not sending 100 pages worth of information. So we may consider adding a couple more relative to wastewater treatment and what have you, because that seemed to be of interest to some people. So
Because someone came up to me yesterday and said this was the best report of this type they'd ever seen anywhere. So congratulations to Grace or whoever else has been working on this.
thank you. They took on a huge task. It would have been like 2 or 3 pages long, limited to what's required, and they took the opportunity to educate our customers. So yeah, kudos for being thoughtful. So appreciate the feedback. I want to spend a few minutes updating you on the 60-inch sewer forced main. It's located in Station D, which is near Central Yard. Obviously, that was an unfortunate occurrence, but we've responded immediately. There's definitely a break in the main, and the unfortunate period, but it's make it even harder. The actual break is at the bottom of the pipe, the underside. We've notified all the regulatory agencies. We've talked to the EPA. As a matter of fact, they happened to be here on their annual visit, and we took them to the site. They understood the circumstances, and they appreciated the effort and resources we're putting forward to expedite the repair. We've talked to DEQ. I mean, we've talked to the media through press releases and actual interviews. So we've been in communication with all the impacted communities downriver from us. They've shown zero impact to this bypass situation. What's driving the schedule here is safety. Because the welders have to be underneath that pipe, we have to secure the excavated area, the hole, so they have secure and safe access so they can be underneath. So we have to go much deeper than the actual main itself. So they have equipment and safe space to work under. So that's what's taking long. We had to outsource the actual sheathing operations at 45-foot long sheaths that had to be installed and brace the hole again to make it accessible and safe. So that's really what's taking the time, but we're committed to getting that main repaired by July 28th. Now, one that I typically share the good and the bad with you. You know, this is an old main, and repairing one piece of an old main leaves you with an old main. So it's slated to be replaced as part of a SELA project, hopefully within 18 months. So it's unfortunate this happened because it was going to be replaced, but nonetheless. The other point I'd like to share is that a project like this comes out of nowhere and sucks up a lot of resources and funding, which kind of slows down other projects that were on the books that we had full intention to fixing and repairing for, you know, our customers, but then that slows down. So we have to explain, you know, like the T4 situation, you know, that's an emergency project that demanded funding, and that just forces us to shift funds away from other projects. And
Quick question, Ghassan.
yes, sir.
When this happens, when something like this fails right before we were planning to replace or in the window of replacing it, can we move up the replacement, or is that just not something that can happen?
Unfortunately, it's tied to a SELA project that had met some much bigger issues where the project had to be halted, and the contractor had to be basically, I think it was
Terminated for convenience.
terminated for convenience. So the ongoing project had to be stopped because the contractor was not performing, and then the Corps of Engineers have to rebid the project and start over.
So there was nobody to do the work because the project
Correct.
wasn't active.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand. Like, why would we fix it if we know it was going to be fixed? Well,
I mean,
the project wasn't active.
a logical thought, and maybe if it was just a sewer water board project alone, maybe we could have shifted some funding. But this is going to be a very, very pricey project when the actual replacement will take place. But unfortunately, we couldn't respond.
And just to emphasize, we did follow all legal procedure on this. I know people read about the diversion and we're thinking, gee, what about that? But everything we did was within guidelines.
We led with, again, as always, with transparency, obviously responsiveness. We had to secure the site. We did all the right things at the right time. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not never a good story to share, but you have to share it because it's part of what we do every day. Moving into maybe a better and more exciting reporting here, the pavement restoration project, as I've been reporting to you, we've made serious adjustments, more funding, more focus, and what we're seeing now is, obviously I had charged Steve Nelson with this assignment, and he's telling me that he's seeing improvements at the staff level where they're taking initiatives and making changes. You allow people with some funding and some, you empower them to make decisions, and we're seeing very, very positive results. I mean, this is one of our better stories this year in terms of just getting the backlog down, from 3,000 to maybe 1,000 by the end of the year. The amount of money and the partnership that we've had with the city to focus on this has been tremendous. So the days are being cut, shorter and shorter, and obviously we will continue to do even better and better. We're talking to the city about maybe adding more funding once they're done with their one project that they're doing on our behalf this year, and then have another project next year too, because they're seeing the results as well, and they're obviously excited about getting rid of the backlog in 2024. So awesome story to share, and it's happening because of the staff who's making the difference day in and day out. These are just examples of, that we're responding faster to many of the things that we we get called on, and I wanted to share some numbers, like for the sewer main repair, for example, compared to last year, 52 days, now we're down to 23. Obviously, we want to do even better. So this is the responding to a situation from the day it's called in to when we actually reported and repaired it. So we're showing positive improvement
I
in
don't
all.
think those percentages are right. 52 to 23 is not 22%, is it? Never mind.
Look at the math, but if you look, just forget the percentage for a minute. I didn't do the math myself, but I can tell you that every category is we're spending less time responding. So
It's great news.
yeah,
Sorry,
it
Russ.
is. It is.
It's
yeah.
switched.
It's very good
Yeah.
news.
Other than that, it's a good story, Mr. President, right? Want to share a bit quickly about the internal audit. As you know, we brought Ed Sutherland, who's at the helm, and now he's by design, and as we contemplated, he's creating his own audit department and unit. So he's hired two key personnel to help him with key audits that he's in charge of, and working on two more. The annual comprehensive financial report is complete. It was on time, actually a few days early. It's been submitted to the Louisiana Legislative Auditor, and they're studying the report, and it's pending publishing. And once they publish it, we are allowed to start sharing it publicly. I know Ed and Director Scholas have been working on upcoming audit committee to update some charter language, and that's imminent, and that's coming in September. So thank you for your leadership on that very, very key area that we've been working so hard to develop, and it's finally here.
Just to speak a little bit on that, I think the public and our partners always want us to have a robust oversight process, and this audit process does that. The auditor, for those of you that don't know, has a dotted line reporting to Ghassan, but is independent and reports directly to the board and the audit committee. So they have the independence to evaluate things with an independent eye and make recommendations outside of what would be welcomed or necessarily received by the executive leadership team. And I think that really speaks to what the city council and what our friends at the legislature were looking to make sure we see. And I think this demonstrates a responsiveness and demonstrates a practical approach to making sure we have the right people asking the right questions at the right time. So I'm excited about that as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Uh-oh, what happened? Well, the last piece, hopefully it will show up. It's about workforce development. As you know, I shared with you our job fair took place a couple months ago, and it was very, very successful. And we believe tied directly to that, we have had 50 new hires last month. This room has been full steadily with onboarding and what's the word I'm looking for here? Orientation, thank you. So we're very, very excited about that, yes, in all facets of the utility. So, well, the last slide doesn't need to be there. I just want to, as we hire 50 people, we're also, part of our business is we lose people. And as you all know, our chief of staff, Christy Horowski, is departing. She is moving on to what I'm going to call it, bluer pastures. Christy has learned the importance of water, and she decided to stay in the same space of water, so moving into a policy position, and speaks to her passion about how important water is. So very, very excited for her, very sad to see her leave. I promised her that I'll be short with my message, and for my sake as well, but I couldn't be thankful for the 4.5 years that she served the utility. So we wish her the best, and
you can come
thank
back.
you so much. With that concludes my presentation.
To piggyback on that, I know I'll miss Christie. She's been a terrific asset to the organization, certainly from my perspective. That brings us to the Finance Committee report, which I'll give. And the Finance Committee met on July 12th at about 9:01 a.m. I was present, as were Directors Howard, Guzman, Payshow. Absent was Director Markowitz. Our CFO presented a cash flow overview, and the May 23 water and sewer numbers were 180 and 272 days on cash on hand respectively, which comfortably exceed the minimum and target thresholds. As Executive Director Corbin mentioned, the CAFR, or maybe they've renamed it, used to be CAFR, but the annual report was done on time, which is the target, but it's also good when you can do that. It's a very complicated job to get that done. The days cash on hand, debt service coverage for the fiscal year ended 2022 with 2.54 and 2.59 for water and sewer, again respectively, which exceeds minimums comfortably. We discussed collectibles. They were a bit lower. Collections were a bit lower than they were the month before, but nothing to worry about that. The total number of bills issued were above 135,000 bills, and that's 3 months in a row, which is very good. We have about 139,000 and change accounts. So we have open customer disputes, which is something I don't know that we talk about very much, of 4,800. When you think about 4,800 disputes on 140,000 accounts, you want zero, but that's a low percentage, and we're working to get that as low as humanly possible. In terms of action items, we had 1 resolution, we had 1 contract renewal, we had 4 contract change orders, 2 contract amendments, 2 final acceptances, and that was all the items that we had to vote on. We had the usual information items provided. There was no public comment, at which point we, 9:47, so for a 46-minute meeting, we adjourned at about 9:47 that day, and that's my report, Poco. Myself. Bringing us to the Pension Committee report, and Dr. Page.
So,
Action. Need a motion?
I'm sorry about that.
I'll move to accept the
Thank you.
committee report.
Is there a second? Second, been properly moved and seconded. Is there, all in favor, please so signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, now we're going to the Pension Committee report. Who's going to do that for us?
I am.
Scholes, thank you.
Okay. The Pension Committee met on Wednesday, July 12th in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened approximately at 10:30 a.m. Present were Directors Payshow, me, and Ms. Rebecca Jonesy. Absent were Directors Markowitz, Davis, McBool, and Heller. Also in attendance were Executive Director, Special Counsel, Deputy Special Counsel, Chief Financial Officer, Interim Superintendent, and representatives from outside organizations. There was a presentation item, and the action items were deferred to the Board of Trustees meeting following this due to lack of quorum. Information items were received. Executive session was deferred due to lack of quorum, and the meeting was adjourned without doing any business at 11:02 a.m. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you, Dr. Scholes. Is there a motion to accept the July 12, 2023 Pension Committee report?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We have corresponding resolutions, which you just heard from me, 10 of those in Globo. May we have a motion to approve the 10 corresponding resolutions on the agenda, all previously approved by the Finance and Administration Committee?
So moved.
Then moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Now, any public comment?
No public comment, Chair.
All in favor, please so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We have a number of information items for your review at your leisure, and we are now, we're going to go into executive session. I'd like to please have a motion to enter executive session pursuant to LARS 42:17A2 to discuss the matter. Do I say the matter?
Yes, H. Minor Pipes.
H. Minor Pipes et al., the Sewage and Water Board et al., Civil District Court, case number 2017-6434. Moved, there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're entering executive session. Thank you all. Let us know when the AV's off, if you would, please.
Okay,
There's two more, yeah.
okay, we're on.
We're on? Yes. Good, okay. May we have a motion to exit executive session?
So moved?
Second.
Been moved and probably second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're back in regular session. We now like a motion to, pardon me, approve special counsel's recommendations regarding the matter H. Minor Pipes et al. V. Sewage and Water Board et al. CDC Court, case number 2017-6434. Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Are there any public comments?
We had one public comment, but the person is not here. It was Leo Marsh from Habitat for Humanity. So I'm assuming he's gonna follow up with us later. But he's no.
Need
he's not
help?
here.
All right. Well, that's,
I want to make a comment. I just want to, we get a lot of bad press and bad publicity, but I want to just commend the, I don't know, if it's the, who is it? Customer Service Department, but they have been doing a great job responding to the concerns of the constituents, especially in District C, East and West Bank, pothole filling, leaks being repaired. Just, it's been an improvement. So I want to acknowledge that. Unfortunately, you don't see that mentioned in the media, whether social media or the news media.
Never the good
but-
stuff.
Never the good stuff, but there are improvements being made. The constituents see it, and I also see it. So I want to give them their kudos.
thanks very much, Councilman King. That's good news to hear good news. Good to hear good news. If there are no other matters.
I have one other matter.
Sorry, Robin, pardon me.
I just want to let everyone know that tomorrow is the beginning of a series of 10th anniversary events of the Greater New Orleans Urban Water Plan. And there's going to be a session tomorrow at Tulane's Bywater Center from 3 to 5, and it's hosted by GNO Inc. and Tulane and the Greater New Orleans Foundation. And I'll actually be speaking at it, and I think there's going to be a series of events over the year. But that's a plan that has sort of greatly influenced sort of investments and resilience in the city. So it's kind of exciting.
That's great. Thank you very much. If there are no other items, I'd like a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved?
Surely there's a second.
I would if I could.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I believe we have the trustees meeting in about 45 minutes in this room. And that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of fun that was.